Hello, friends. I'm going to talk about addiction today. And in today's times, we are hearing more and more about it. We hear about drug addiction as a menace. And many of us would have somebody or the other that we know who has struggled with it or is struggling with it. Weed is becoming more and more normalized and accepted in the Western society. But here it is many a times used to a great extent in among the youngsters in colleges and many times even in schools. Apart from drug addiction, there are other addictions which are there but may be classified as not being that severe. Food addiction or gadget addiction. Gadget addiction being also being part of how the society has become today, or shopaholics. So most people or many people would have one or the other addiction, but when somebody has a issue with a drug addiction, we usually have a attitude towards them as if they should just be able to overcome this, and maybe they are weak and they don't have enough willpower, that this come to it again and again, or there is something that they haven't understood, they don't know how harmful it is to them. And in my experience, I have seen many families judging the addiction in that way, even when they are being supportive. So I can definitely say that the newest research completely supports it, that addiction happens as a result of unresolved trauma. There is unresolved trauma in our past, and that is not to blame the parents at all. They always do whatever is the best from their point of view, but still there could be unresolved trauma in the person's past. And when there is so much pain inside or so much anxiety inside, the person, when he is falling for that addiction and doing all of that unconsciously, not knowingly, is only trying to feel better. So when there is so much pain, there could be a person who has faced abuse in the past and they're undergoing so much pain. So what they're trying to do is to just feel better. So if there is somebody in your family, somebody in your circle who is having this problem, I'd really sincerely hope and wish that you drop any kind of judgment towards that person and at least internalize this, that it's not just possible for somebody to drop an addiction and move on and start their life and live life productively, etc. These are things many times without proper professional support or a long-term treatment plan, it is very difficult for them to accomplish. So somebody who is not addicted to a particular thing, say for example, alcohol, it would be very easy for them to say that, okay, just don't drink. Like, you know how much it is harming you and what you do when you drink. Just don't do that. It's very easy for them to say that because they don't know what that person is going through. So shaming the other person and judging the other person would never help. We have to drop that attitude and instead adopt this, that there is something that I don't know, that this person might be going through, that this person is resorting to this. And as I cannot completely understand what this person is going through, it's not my place to judge them. So the superior attitude that sometimes, and the condescending attitude that we might adopt towards our loved ones, we have to stop that, because in any case, it will not help that person at all. I can really say that if you want to help your loved one, what is going to benefit them is a sense of acceptance from you. It seems like dangerous. Many of the family members would say, if we accept it, they're never going to change, they're never going to try. But acceptance is an attitude that we have inside of us. It's an attitude of non-violence. It's an attitude of love. It's an attitude which comes from this knowing that every person is trying to do the best that they can. And sometimes someone's best could be what is visible at that time and not to our liking. So, an attitude of acceptance and love is very, very essential. Having conversation and having connections is very, very essential. And knowing that dropping it has to include healing the traumas from the past, first unearthing which are the emotional issues that the person is facing, and to heal them. To me, I feel that it should be a part of the process that an individual goes through. To drop any addiction, the person first of all has to come into this awareness that there is an addiction. So the hallmarks of addiction are that there is a short-term pleasure that the person gets, and because of that short-term pleasure there's a craving. They want to experience it again. But the other are that even if they want to, they cannot stop it. And it also produces harm. There's a long term harm that this habit produces. And that's the classification of an addiction. So if you are somebody who is struggling with an addiction, first of all, the first step has to know that there is an addiction and there is a problem. Admitting that problem is very, very important. And that is the first step towards healing. And second is being gentle with oneself, taking the time to do that journey. When we become so result oriented that we want to fix this now and we want to get on with our life, we also treat ourselves with so much impatience and disrespect. So it's very important to be patient and gentle and kind with oneself. To give oneself, they say, infinite patience gives immediate results. So one has to be very patient with oneself, to give oneself so much time to heal and recover, and to work with a professional therapist or a counselor, to talk and to heal and to release. Meanwhile, working on other support system, which maybe allopathy can offer, and taking the help from all possible spaces, actually reading up more, understanding more about us, about what addiction is. And when you expand your understanding, you're able to deal with it in different ways. And also having that confidence that when you follow this path of a journey of understanding of the self or connecting to the self, there is no way that one can fail. So rather than making it as a journey of dropping addiction, make it as a journey of understanding yourself, healing yourself, and then you'll always be a winner. So I wish you all the best, and may the divine always walk with you. Thank you.